One of the strongest weapons in Battlefield 6 is actually unlocked fairly early on, and it's not even a weapon that benefits from the different class traits. It's not an assault rifle, an SMG, an LMG, or a sniper. It's actually a carbine. This is the M277 carbine, and it is surprising how good this thing is once you actually try it out and put some time into leveling it to get the attachments that we'll show you in this video. We have a budget loadout that you can use as you're leveling up, and the one to actually aim for that will have you shredding enemies in no time. Now, let's talk about this gun, because the M277 is actually a sort of take on the M7, a newly fielded US gun that's being used right now. So this is not only pretty just cool to use, but it is a newer one, and in the game it slaps. When you try this, you will feel the difference. So let's go over the attachments here so that you can see just how it stacks up when you have all of these pieces. Now, we've tested all of the different suppressors and the brakes. We've tried the different barrel options, as there's some alternative choices, and we've gone through all of the grips, and the results may surprise you here. Each weapon has its own recoil and bullet spread bloom deviation, and it's really interesting to try out all the different grips because they seem to affect each weapon fairly differently when you go in the firing range and you see the impact they have on the actual recoil and bloom or deviation. So let's go through all of the attachments so that you can aim for first, and we'll do the budget afterwards. Now, this should come with a suppressor by default, but the one you actually want to aim for is the cheapest one here, the standard one for 20, as we are very tight on points for this build to squeeze the best precision and control stat out of it for recoil and bloom so that you can actually laser enemies with it. So snap on the standard suppressor here when you have it, as it's the cheapest one. Suppressors are very good. If you don't like them, put a comp on. It will improve your recoil control a little bit more, but I find for this, as it does work very well at both close, medium, and when tap firing or single shot firing, it works good at long range as well. The suppressor just increases our longevity a little bit. Now, the barrels are very interesting on this one because we have quite a few choices: basic, heavy extended, and light. Now, we've tried all of these out, and the interesting thing is, you compare to the basic, first of all, both the extended and heavy extended, as you can see, give us 780 velocity, which is a very important stat that we want to keep high. So that already makes both the extended and the heavy extended overtake these other three just from having that stat. So which one should you pick, the heavy extended or the extended? You can see the heavy extended here improves firing accuracy over prolonged periods and increases projectile velocity. So that sounds like it would be really good for recoil control as you're spraying a medium to long range target down. But actually, for some reason, the more expensive barrel here, the 16-inch, the 15 cost, is actually better for your recoil control. You can go in the firing range and try both of these out, and I'm telling you, this extended one will give you much easier control. So despite what they say, this one is the one to go for, and it actually gives you faster ADS speed, at least that's what it says. So the extended is definitely the one to pick here. From all of our testing, you'll have much better recoil control. Don't fall into the trap of the description of the heavy extended here. Now, as we said before, comparing all of these grips, it's actually been really interesting in the firing range, because some guns benefit greatly from the vertical, some benefit greatly from the stubbies, and some benefit more from the angled. And of course, all guns can really use the different bipods. Bipods are super strong in this game. But for pure recoil control on this M277, the 35-point stippled stubby here is the one to go for. This gives you way better recoil, especially compared to the vertical and the angled. So this one is actually really, really good, and it's 35 points. It's quite expensive, so I recommend trying this one. We tried some of the alternate choices, and to be honest, this 35-pointer is the one that had the best recoil management on it. So slap that thing on as soon as you get it. It is a bit of a later unlock. Now, for the magazine, the 25 round fast is going to be nice. As you can see, it knocks off some of the reload speed. It actually knocks off 0.3 seconds in total, around that, which is a nice difference, which will make a difference when enemies are rushing you and you need to reload, because you only have 20 rounds. I did experiment with the 25 rounders and even the 30 rounder, and honestly, the 30 rounds and the 25 rounds, I'm a big fan of. Having those extra bullets is amazing. It brings it more up to what you are used to playing with in different games. But we just can't get the points in there, and the recoil management is going to be more important. If we can bring that recoil down, we don't need as many bullets in the magazine as long as we're hitting our target. So the 20 rounder will still do just fine. Now for this gun, you will have better recoil with the standard ammo, but the penetration ammo doesn't throw it off enough that it makes you not want to use it. So penetration ammo works really well here so that you can shoot through enemies to get collaterals and even through light cover. So I actually do recommend using the tungsten core, the penetration ammo. And we have 5 points left over after doing all of this. So the mag catch is actually really nice. And you can see it takes off 0.2 of our reload speed. So again, juicing our reload speed. So we only have the 20 rounds, but we reload a lot quicker with the fast mag and the mag catch. And we penetrate through cover and through enemies for multi-kills. We have really good recoil management with both the extended and the stubby. Really, really good when you put all these together. It's sort of everything clicks as you try it and play it. For the actual sight, as you may have seen across our other videos, if you've seen our other weapon loadouts and attachments, the Baker 3x is one of my personal favorites. I use this on pretty much all of my weapons, but use what's your preference. You know, you've got holographics, you've got red dots, you've got these holographics, you've even got some of the 2x people really like, and you could try a variable. I'm not a big fan of these because they cost so much more, so I personally wouldn't use a variable, but if you want to mix things up to get your preferred sight on there, by all means, give it a go. Now, if we actually take a look, I have another version, the budget version for you guys here. And here's a budget version that you can use if you want to, you know, as you're leveling it up, because some of those attachments do come a bit higher level. You can see mine's level 40, almost at level 50 now. Now, it comes with a suppressor, so you can, of course, use that. Switch to the 20 point as soon as you have it. It's a bit cheaper. Or just use something like the single port brake as you're leveling up, since this is going to do pretty good for your overall stats and doesn't use a lot of points. And this single port brake is unlocked really early on. So suppressor or single port brake, I believe it comes with a suppressor anyway. And then for the actual barrel itself, you probably will unlock the heavy extended first, I think. And it's less points, but obviously stick with the basic barrel until you have either the heavy extended or the extended, but ultimately the extended will be the better choice out of the two. Work your way through the grips if you can. I think the ribbed vertical still works well on this gun as you're leveling it, but do try to switch over to the stubby grips when you can, aiming for the stippled stubby grip here. So work your way through, use what you have as you're leveling up. You can also slap on the 20 round fast magazine as you get that pretty early on for that extra reload speed. And when, you know, just use standard ammo, and when you have it, switch up to penetration ammo. And again, the mag catch also unlocks pretty early, so you can slap that on. Again, whatever sight you want. And as you're leveling up, I actually do recommend using the green laser here. As you can see, it gives a massive bonus to hip fire. So as you're leveling it and you aren't super tight on points because of the very expensive barrel, very expensive grip that we have on the full build version, you can fit in the green laser while leveling, and that will really help you as you're in those CQB fights and you're leveling the weapon itself. So there's our two different versions of the M277. This is a beast. Try it out. You don't want to be sleeping on it. Don't knock it till you try it, because this is actually probably my favorite weapon out of all of the weapons so far, which is crazy considering it unlocks so early, and it just looks really awesome too. So give it a go. There's our loadouts. We've done all of the testing in the training room and in matches to find the best feeling version with the lowest recoil. So tell us what you think down below, and subscribe because we have more Battlefield 6 coming your way very, very soon. Here at Arix Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 26.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.